And this is where a lot of people buy the wrong TV, because when someone searches what's better, old mini-LED or QLED, they usually expect one simple answer. But the truth is, two televisions can have the same size, the same 4K resolution, and the same promise of an amazing picture, while one looks alive, deep, almost like a window, and the other looks gray, washed out, and flat. The secret is not just in the pixels, it is in the light. Every screen is basically a game of light and color. Imagine the TV image as a drawing made of millions of tiny dots, but those tiny dots need to light up somehow, and that is exactly where the difference between LED, QLED, Mini-LED, and OLED begins. These names may sound complicated, but the idea is simple. Some TVs use a light behind the screen to illuminate everything. Others improve the colors with a special layer. Others control the light in much smaller pieces. And others do something almost magical. Each tiny dot lights up by itself. So today we are going to rank these screens from number 4 to number 1, from the most basic type to the most advanced, from the worst to the best in order of evolution. And by the end, you will understand why two 4K TVs can deliver completely different images. Number 4. LED. The LED TV is the beginning of our ladder. And the first thing you need to understand is that in most TVs, LED does not mean the entire image is made of colorful LEDs. Most of the time, there is an LCD screen in the front and LED lights behind it, or around the edges, illuminating that screen. Think of a colorful sheet of paper being lit by a flashlight. The paper has the drawing, but it does not glow by itself. It needs the flashlight to be seen. An LED TV works more or less like that. The LCD panel creates the shapes and colors. The LED lighting behind it pushes light through the image. But there is a hidden problem with this flashlight idea. When the light comes from behind, it does not illuminate only the exact place it needs to. It tries to pass through the entire screen, so when the TV needs to show a dark scene, like nighttime, a cave, or outer space, the backlight is still there. The result is that black often does not look truly black. It looks kind of gray. It is like trying to create a shadow on a sheet of paper while a flashlight is turned on behind it. You can make it darker, but there will always be some light leaking through. And when black is not deep, the image loses impact. The white may be bright, but the contrast does not feel as strong. Another limitation is color. A regular LED TV can absolutely have a nice picture, but it usually does not deliver tones as rich as newer technologies. Reds can look less intense, greens can feel less alive, and very colorful scenes may look simpler. But LED has one important advantage. It is usually the cheapest option. For someone who wants a large, simple TV to watch movies, videos, sports, and shows without spending too much, it still makes sense. It is not bad. It is just the first step in this evolution. Today, you can usually find LED TVs costing between $190 and $700, depending on the size, brand, and extra features. Number 3. QLED. QLED sounds like OLED, but be careful. Even though the names are similar, they are very different. A QLED TV is still, in most cases, an LCD TV with LED lighting behind it. The big change is a special layer called quantum dots. Quantum dots sound like something from a crazy scientist, but imagine microscopic little pots of glowing paint. When light passes through them, they help create purer, stronger, and more controlled colors. It is as if a regular LED TV used a basic box of colored pencils, while a QLED TV used a premium box with brighter and more vivid colors. In practice, QLED was created to solve an important part of the LED TV problem: color. With this layer, the TV can deliver a more vibrant image, especially with HDR content, which is made to show strong highlights, intense reflections, and a greater sense of depth. Imagine a sunset scene. On a regular LED TV, the orange may look nice, but simple. On a QLED TV, that same orange gains more warmth, more brightness, and more variation between yellow, red, and gold. The image feels fuller, more eye-catching, more wow. And that is one of QLED's biggest strengths: brightness. Because it still uses a strong light source behind the screen, many QLED TVs can get very bright. This is great for bright rooms, open windows, and places where a darker TV would struggle. But here is the important detail. Improving color does not mean completely solving black levels. QLED still depends on a backlight. So when the scene gets dark, the TV needs to block that light using the LCD panel. And blocking light is not the same thing as turning light off. Think of a curtain trying to block the sun. A good curtain blocks a lot, but some brightness still comes through the gaps. Something similar happens with QLED. It delivers nicer colors than a regular LED TV, but black can still look a bit gray on some models, especially cheaper ones. This can also create light leakage. You know when white subtitles appear on a black scene and a bright cloud shows up around the letters? The TV is trying to show white and black at the same time, but since the light comes from behind, it cannot always separate everything perfectly. Even so, QLED is a clear evolution. It takes the LED foundation and improves what many people notice first: color and brightness. For cartoons, games, sports, and colorful movies, the difference can be very visible. But QLED still carries the same DNA as LED. There is still a flashlight behind the image. There is still the difficulty of making black become absolute black. And that limitation is exactly what led to the next step: controlling the light in much smaller parts. Today, you can usually find QLED TVs costing between $230 and $1,000, depending on the size, brand, and panel quality. Number 2. MiniLED. MiniLED is like taking that big flashlight behind the TV and replacing it with thousands of tiny flashlights. The screen is still usually LCD. The image still passes through layers, but the lighting behind it becomes much smarter. The idea is simple. If a regular LED TV lights up large areas, a Mini-LED TV lights up smaller areas. Instead of brightening a huge part of the screen when a star appears in the sky, it tries to light only the region of the star. Instead of illuminating the whole screen when a candle appears in the dark, it tries to highlight the flame and keep the background dark. To explain it like you are a kid, imagine a dark room. If you turn on a lamp on the ceiling, the whole room lights up. That is like a regular LED TV. Now imagine thousands of tiny lights spread around the room, and you can turn on only some of them. You can light up only the table, only the toy, only the corner where something is happening. That is the spirit of Mini-LED. This ability is called local dimming. The TV divides the image into lighting zones. When one part needs to be bright, that zone gets brighter. When another part needs to be dark, that zone lowers the light. The more zones the TV has and the better the processing is, the more control the TV has. The result is much better contrast than regular LED and basic QLED. Blacks get deeper. Brightness can get very high. Explosions, reflections, sunlight hitting water, car headlights, and HDR scenes gain a lot of power. At the same time, dark scenes look less washed out. But it is still not perfect. Even with thousands of tiny lights, they illuminate groups of pixels, not each pixel by itself. So if a small and very bright object appears on a black background, the TV can create a halo, a glow around it. It is much smaller than on a regular LED TV, but it can still happen. Think of a completely black sky with a white moon in the middle. Mini-LED tries to light only the moon and turn down the rest. But because each tiny light still illuminates a small area, a soft glow can remain around it. The image is still great, but it is not perfect control yet. Even so, in the evolution of TV screens, Mini-LED is a huge leap. It takes the strength of QLED, keeps the high brightness, greatly improves contrast, and reduces the gray-black problem a lot. It is as if the TV finally learned how to control light more carefully. Today, you can usually find Mini-LED TVs costing between $400 and $1,500, but larger or premium models can easily go beyond that. But there is still one question. What if, instead of controlling lights behind the screen, each tiny dot in the image could turn on and off by itself? That is where we reach number 1. Number 1. OLED. OLED is different because it does not need a backlight illuminating everything. Each pixel is like an independent mini lamp. When it needs to show color, it turns on. When it needs to show black, it turns off. And that sentence changes everything. To make black, OLED turns the pixel off. Imagine a city seen from above at night. Each window lights up by itself. Some are yellow, some are white, and some are off. Now imagine that an LED TV tries to illuminate that city with a giant spotlight from behind. You can create an image, but there will always be light where there should not be. OLED does not do that. It controls each little window individually. That is why OLED black is considered perfect. It is not dark gray, it is not a shadow with light leaking through. It is the absence of light. And when black is truly black, everything else looks stronger. Colors gain depth, contrast explodes. A star in space looks brighter because the sky around it is completely turned off. That is one of the reasons why movies and series look so beautiful on OLED. Night scenes, dark rooms, faces lit by candles, planets in space, neon signs, everything gets a cinematic feeling. The image does not just look bright, it looks precise. Another advantage is viewing angle. On many regular TVs, if you sit too far to the side, the image loses color and contrast. On OLED, this is usually much better. The picture stays beautiful even when you are not sitting directly in front of the screen. But OLED also requires some care. Because each pixel produces light, a static image left on the screen for many hours can cause image retention or burn-in, like logos, scoreboards, and news bars. Modern TVs have protections, but the caution still matters. Another point is brightness. OLED TVs have improved a lot, but Mini-LED can still reach higher brightness levels across the whole screen. So in a very bright room, a high-end Mini-LED TV may look stronger. But in a controlled environment, especially at night, OLED usually delivers a more refined experience. So why does it take first place? Because when we talk about image control, OLED solves the central problem that all the others were trying to work around. Light. LED uses light from behind. QLED improves the color of that light. Mini-LED divides that light into many zones. OLED removes the backlight and gives control to each pixel. Today, you can usually find OLED TVs costing between $850 and $2,300, but large or top-of-the-line versions can cost much more. Now, putting everything together, the latter becomes clear. At number 4, LED, the foundation. Good, affordable, and simple, but with weaker black levels, limited contrast, and less advanced colors. At number 3, QLED, a more colorful and brighter LED, with quantum dots that make the image more vivid, but still dependent on a backlight. At number 2, Mini-LED, a strong evolution in light control with many lighting zones, much better contrast, and powerful brightness. At number 1, OLED, pixels that light up by themselves, perfect black, maximum contrast, and an image that looks deeper and more cinematic. And here is the secret. It is not enough to look at 4K, 8K, or screen size. Two 4K TVs can have the same number of pixels, but control light in completely different ways. So, if you want to save money, LED can do the job. If you want strong colors and plenty of brightness, QLED is already a step up. If you want high brightness with much better contrast, Mini-LED is a powerful choice. But if you want the deepest black and the most precise image, OLED is the top of this evolution. If this video helped you understand a little more about TV screen technology, tell me in the comments which type of screen you use today. Is it LED, QLED, Mini-LED, or OLED? And do you actually notice the difference in the picture, or do you think most of it is just marketing? And if you want to keep learning, there is already another video right here waiting for you. See you in the next one.